Despite its pop music soundtrack, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy is not based on the James Gunn MCU movie of the same name. Its inspirations go back to the comics, and with that comes a whole bunch of Marvel Easter eggs. A huge amount of these can be conveniently found in one location, the Collector's Emporium. And while all of them are labelled up to make sure you're not left in the dark, none of them reveal their comic book origins. And that's where we come in. Here's every item in the Collector's Emporium and the Marvel history behind them. The first item you'll find in the Collector's Emporium is Throg, Frog of Thunder. A fairly new character in the Marvel canon, he first appeared in issue 1 of Lockjaw and the Pet Avengers, published in 2009. Throg was originally a human called Simon Walterson, but he was transformed into a frog by a witch as punishment for not paying his debts. He becomes Throg by wielding Frognir, which can also be found in the Emporium. This tiny magical hammer was created when a little piece of Thor's hammer was broken off by an Asgardian goat. I promise you, this is all real, honestly. Here we have the Cosmic Staff, which in the comics is wielded by one of the Heralds of Galactus, Pyrrhus Krill, who's better known as Firelord. Nearby is a tiara that belongs to Snowbird, a Canadian shapeshifter and the daughter of the Eskimo goddess of the Northern Lights. We can also see the hide formula, used by Calvin Zabo to gain superhuman strength and stamina. He's been in the comics since 1963, but is perhaps now better known as being played by Kyle MacLachlan in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Further into the Emporium is the monster from Planet X. Planet X is Groot's homeworld, as revealed in 1960s Tales to Astonish, and this sprouting seedling is actually a little piece of Groot himself. Next to it is a Raptor Amulet, an item used by the Shi'ar Empire to transfer a person's consciousness into a cybernetic body known as a raptor. The dark red colouring of this amulet suggests it may be the one Chris Powell uses to summon the raptor known as Razor, which transforms him into the superhero Darkhawk. The Blade of Ica is one of two main weapons wielded by Angela. She's Thor's sister, and was first introduced to Marvel continuity in 2013's Age of Ultron storyline. She actually originated as a character in Spawn, but that's a whole other story that you can look up on Google. Made of liquid metal, the Blade of Ichor is a double-edged scimitar that can morph into any bladed weapon, a whip, or even split into two knives. It's usually wielded alongside Xiphus, the Sword of the Stars. Safe to say, Angela is an incredibly deadly space angel who probably didn't let go of this blade without a fight. Next up are two classic Marvel items that have become major elements in the MCU. The Mandarin's rings are these days better known as the Ten Rings, the mystical bracelets featured in Shang-Chi. In the MCU, we see them being used as blasters, whips, strength enhancers, and more, but that's practically pedestrian compared to the original comics. The Mandarin, who is Iron Man's greatest adversary and not an actor from Liverpool, wears 10 magic rings, each providing a superpower. Making their debut in Tales of Suspense issue 50, the 10 rings include the Vortex Beam Ring, the Flame Burst Ring, and the Mento Intensifier Ring, better known as the Liar since it can cause illusions. Next to the rings is the Cosmic Cube, which MCU fans will know as the Tesseract. Introduced way back in 1966, the Cosmic Cube answers to the will of those who use it, controlling matter and energy to fulfill desires. While it's best known as the Red Skull's weapon, the original Cosmic Cube was actually made by AIM, and, evolved into a weird sentient creature called Cubic. Cubic's power is eventually used to create the Adaptoids, which were recently seen as enemies in the Avengers video game. The centerpiece cabinet of the Collector's Emporium holds the time chair of Kang the Conqueror, a character who has experienced renewed popularity among Marvel fans this year thanks to his appearance in Loki. This time chair actually hails from the animated TV show Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, which had several episodes featuring Kang. This ornate, retro-styled throne has lasers and a force field, which despite its 41st century design, is actually based on 21st century Stark tech. Creepily floating in this cabinet is the Eye of the Watcher. More accurately, it's likely to be the Eye of Uatu, the Watcher who silently observes Earth from his base on the moon and narrates episodes of What If as a side gig. This single eye is a reference to the Marvel Comics event Original Sin, a fun and incredibly twisty murder mystery in which the Watcher is killed and his eye is pulled from his skull. In subsequent cabinets we see Cagliastro's book, which contains all sorts of mystic knowledge, including passages from the Darkhold, which was featured in WandaVision. There's also a Yaka arrow, the projectile that Yondu controls via whistling, and a broken case that once held a Queen of the Brood, one of Marvel's many insectoid alien races. Another case holds the Cosmic Glasses, which are a replica of the glasses worn by Marvel's own Stan Lee. Here are the broken pieces of Hofund, better known as Heimdall's sword and the key to Asgard's Bifrost. The description notes that it is stained with the blood of Mangog. This is a reference to when Mangog, a creature made of the literal hatred of a race slaughtered by Odin, killed Heimdall and shattered his sword in a 2018 issue of The Mighty Thor. Next to this exhibit is the Superhuman Registration Act from the Civil War comic, which is known as the Sokovia Accords in the MCU. Perhaps the most deadly weapon in the entire Marvel universe, the Ultimate Nullifier is part of Galactus and is usually stored on his colossal world ship. It is one of the only weapons he is truly fearful of, as it is capable of eliminating anything, from people to timelines. It was stolen by the Human Torch in order to prevent Galactus from destroying Earth in issue 50 of Fantastic Four back in 1966. This golden dome belongs to Richard Rider, the superhero known as Nova. A member of the space police agency Nova Corps, he's one of Marvel's most prominent cosmic heroes. The description mentions him rebuilding the Nova Corps after the Galactic War, which may be inspired by the events of the Thanos Imperative storyline, in which the Corps was left powerless after their battle against the Mad Titan. And those are all the Marvel Comics references that can be found in the Collector's Emporium. Have you spotted any other Easter eggs in Guardians of the Galaxy? If so, let us know in the comments. For more, check out our Guardians review and gameplay videos, and for everything else, stick with IGN.